Good evening from Cairo, Egypt. His Excellency Ambassador Victor Hugo Peña Barrero, Head of Mission of the Embassy of Paraguay in Cairo. Dr. Benjamin Fernandez Bugado, our valued audience. I am Layel Al-Rustum, Director of Events at Diwan Bookstores in Egypt. We are honored to welcome you to the second event in the series of the Latin American Literature Week in Diwan, in collaboration with the Latin American embassies in the Arab Republic of Egypt. Our guest speaker tonight is the renowned Paraguayan author, Dr. Benjamin Fernandez Bugado. Dr. Bugado holds a doctorate degree in law, is a university professor, a writer in various Latin American newspapers, and a bestseller award-winning author in Paraguay, with more than 20 published books and numerous literary articles on social, political, communication, and legal issues. Tonight, he is joining us for the first time in a live talk entitled Paraguay, a Garden in the Middle of the Unknown, where he will introduce us to his latest book, El Jardín Pandémico, which title translates into A Pandemic Garden. Please welcome with me virtually the Head of Mission of the Embassy of Paraguay and our guest speaker for the night, Dr. Benjamin Bugado. Ahlan wa sahlan. Bienvenidos. Welcome. And now, His Excellency Ambassador Victor Hugo Peña Barrero, Head of the Mission of the Embassy of Paraguay, will give his word.
Thank you very much, Layali. Good afternoon, Paraguay and Latin America. Good evening, Egypt. In the name of the Embassy of the Republic of Paraguay to the Arab Republic of Egypt, allow me to gratefully thank all the members of the renowned and well-known Diwan bookstores for their commitment in sharing the Latin American literature and culture through the organization of such an important event. Let me also thank the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Egypt, represented yesterday by Ambassador Ashraf Munir, Deputy Assistant Foreign Minister for Latin America, for supporting cultural activities. On May 15, 2021, Paraguay celebrated 210 years of independent life. Despite being a landlocked country already in the 19th century, it reached to develop a thriving economy and achieve a high level of education. The circumstances of two international wars, with their shocking demographic, social, and economic costs, did not prevent it from preserving the values of its culture, including the native Guarani, which, along with Spanish, constitute the two official but different languages of Paraguay, a country that is blessed to have literature expressed in both of them. Moreover, a few years ago, the Mercosur adopted Guarani as official language too. Thus, poets, novelists, essayists, and playwrights have developed prose and verse in both languages. Spanish is one of the 5 or 7 most important worldwide. But let me tell you that Guarani, because of its expressive deepness, sweetness, and its graphic force, is not always possible to be interpreted in other languages. Some of the leading writers in Paraguay have been prolific and fluent in both. In the 20th century, 2 of them have reached high peaks, Elvio Romero and Augusto Roa Bastos, the latter of them winner of the Cervantes Prize, the highest distinction for Spanish literature. One of his books, Cuentos Selectos, Selected Tales in English, has been translated into Arabic. Another book by author Alcibiades González del Valle, Un Viento Negro, A Black Wind, is the second of Paraguayan author work that has obtained its translation into Arabic. We are very proud of it, but we are also convinced that the number of works by Paraguayan authors translated into Arabic must be increased. Today, let me introduce to you an eloquent writer and speaker in Guarani and Spanish, Dr. Benjamin Fernandez Bogado. He is a man of culture, an academic professor, researcher, political analyst, and communications consultant. He holds postgraduate studies in many prestigious universities such as Navarra, Oxford, and Syracuse. He has run the American University of Paraguay, the Fondalex in Mexico, and he also wrote for the Le Monde Diplomatique Mexican edition. He was a visiting professor at Harvard, as well as the author of more than 20 books in different fields. He currently runs Radio Libre and 2 newspapers, El Independiente or The Independent, and Cinco Días or 5 Days, all of them from Paraguay. Benjamin Fernandez Bogado will share this evening with the respected audience both information and opinion about the Paraguayan literature, history, culture, and politics reflected in the work and life of Cervantes Prize winner Mr. Augusto Roa Bastos, and then about the modern Paraguay through his own work as a doctor of law, journalist, university professor, and international lecturer. Then no more words, so let us greet Mr. Benjamin Fernandez Bogado.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. Shukran, Layal, in the library for the possibility and the pleasure to be in contact with you from Paraguay. I'm very happy to be part of this Latin America week on literature. And I decided to talk about Paraguay, and I entitled my presentation, Paraguay, a Garden in the Middle of the Unknown. A landlocked country in South America had historically lacked connection with other places and literary tendency. University was opened in 1889, and due to civil and international wars, complete generations were victims of the conflict. A beautiful country with tropical rains, more than 150 rivers and creeks, always attracted writers such as Facundo Quiroga, an Argentinian one who described many of his stories with Paraguayan accent. The national language Guarani also played an important role in the literary development, and for some people conflicted with the other national language, Spanish. Guarani, a mainly spoken language, made stories go by oral description rather than written ones. Probably the main literary voice, the Spaniard Rafael Barret, described very well Paraguay as a country where flora eats fauna. He came from Spain in 1904 to cover one of the many Paraguayan revolutions and stayed in the country for no more than 4 years. His potent voice explores social injustice and tumultuous social relationship. He played an important role model over writers such as Jorge Luis Borges and Augusto Roa Bastos, our main novelists, who said Barret taught us how to write. He described Paraguay as hard and beautiful country, where just a few people are lucky, the vast majority not, in a country with inherit 2 main Spanish defects, envy and the long tradition to expel the best people to live in exile. We are exiled sons, and our books reflect nostalgia, wishes, and compromises for a country located so far away from our dreams. My books, such as A Sacudirse, which won the most important national prize, reflect the dreams of shaking up people from its lazy way to live and face its reality. Other political essays, No da más, It is enough, follows the same path and try to build the idea of how important are institutions in democratic society. My recent book, El Jardín Pandemic, A Pandemic Garden, is a dialogue with the pandemic's effect upon ourselves as a human beings and what kind of conclusions are needed to take out in order to build a more just and friendly global society. As Roa Bastos used to describe Paraguay, from a political and historical point of view, I try to understand my time as a human being who really has a compromise to build a better society. I wrote on politics, social behavior, communication, but behind any of this issue is the idea to reveal key elements to understand and propose idea on the identity crisis, value crisis, and destiny. I think political essays can help countries such as Paraguay to understand our role in the globe and how with words and idea we can build a better path in a better future. Roa Bastos had a dialogue with the power and the powerfuls. Myself has a conversation with a citizen in a country with many rushes of violence along its history. Paraguay has too many things to share with the world. Some people call my country as the best kept secret of Latin America. And I believe literature could play an important role to put people close together and emerge with a potent voice in order to live in a more fraternal society. History is a permanent reference in our literature that resembles that Paraguay is living looking in the back mirror. We want to be genuine only if we can justify the present from the past perspective. Future and the world are not friendly territory for us. When the country opened its borders, came the Triple Alliance War that cost the life of more than 85% of the population. Our country was almost completely annihilated, such as, I don't know who my ancestor grandparents are because they are lost in the dark period of the war that happened 150 years ago. We didn't mourn our dead people. We are a country without mournings is death. We cried about them in poems, novels, essays. We are writing our stories with death close to us. We are a melancholical society, shy sometimes and afraid to the world. Many of us who were educated overseas, when we came back to the country, are looking in a suspicious way. People do not trust us, and that explains why our main artists and writers, among them, develop their capacities overseas. Roa Bastos lived in Buenos Aires and France many more years than he spent in Paraguay, but he carries out characters and a story of Paraguayan one that he wrote overseas. Our main city in terms of population is not Asunción, our capital city, but Buenos Aires, where more than 1.5 million Paraguayans live. Asunción has 500,000 inhabitants. Our literature is living within us, but reading outside our border. That is not just a geographical description. It is also a metaphorical one that is useful to explain our insularity. Roa described Paraguay as an island surrounded by land. The figures are reflected on many of the characters in his novels. Isolation, mistrust, and the other and overseas made Paraguayan literature an anguished voice, which is not very well known overseas. We are a country of 7 million people, one of the youngest countries in the world, with 2 languages, and living in a nostalgic time where solitude, melancholia, and isolation give us the character to be hidden not just for others, but also for ourselves. New voices are emerging and are also writing in a more cosmopolitan way. Democracy, which came in 1989, is a real challenge for a country where dictatorship was the rule. Gaspar Rodriguez de Francia, the supreme dictator, who ruled the country from 26 years and closed down borders and contacts with other people, inspired the best Paraguayan novel, I, the Supreme, written by Roa Bastos, which didn't have promotion nor recognition during the so-called Latin American literature boom during the 70s of the 20th century. Meanwhile, Garcia Marquez, Vargas Llosa, Onetti, Fuentes, or Cortázar took advantage of the moment in Paris and other big cities. Roa went to live in Toulouse, where he gave classes of Guarani. a very good way to portray the Paraguayan way of life in our shyness and modesty. In a recent book review of Harvard University Magazine, a professor of the University of Guadalajara, Professor Héctor Farina, said about my last book, "Imagine the tranquility of a garden with the aroma of flowers mixes in with the buzzing of bees and the contrast of shady trees against the fierce Paraguayan sun. From the intimacy of a family garden in which a daily ritual lead over to water the plants, gather up the dry leaves, tidy the area, and above all, to breathe in the fresh air and tranquility of this corner of the home. From this daily intimacy emerge not only great questioning, but a profound look towards the global, the great unresolved conflicts, the doubt to which we need to respond. And all this was accelerated by the COVID-19 pandemic, which forces a great part of the world population to hold up, to protect itself together with fears, uncertainty, and accumulation of sensation. In contrast to the worldwide threat to the pandemic and confinement, the interior molecule of Benjamin Fernandez Bogado provide us with a series of provocative, questioning, and intelligent texts that confront us with a complex reality. From the calm of his plant-filled home, Fernandez took advantage of the quarantine to write this book, which brings together a collection of essays about the pandemic, inequality, poverty, science, fear, uncertainty, and obstacles that we all face as a human being, from the small local battles to the grand global challenges. This is part of the articles that Professor Farina wrote about my books in the last edition of the Harvard Literary Review of La Revista. I wrote Pandemic Garden because I'm compelled to show our commitment to the global challenge that we are facing all together. Global Hat in the McLuhan description call us to intervene, to take part, and to write a new history, one which I hope will be less shameful, courageous, and more oriented to solidarity and working together. During this pandemic, was evident that trade globalization is not enough to save millions of lives and less effective to develop vaccine to all over the world. Literature can play an important role shaping the meaning of the word fraternity, which is a less developed concept shouted during the French Revolution in 1789. The other two, freedom and equality, also are urgent in many places, and we need to fight for and take care of. From my compromise as a writer, I see this moment as a special one, a great opportunity to recover a humanistic sense of seeing the world that became so small in the middle of the pandemic. We are part of the same problem and the same solution too. It is not enough to describe reality. It is important to promote new visions and compromises. We were replicated too much in the same conflict box. We need to be out of the so-called normality that under those circumstances show us was not enough to resolve our health problem. The new normality will take time. Vaccination as a solution, but to rebuild our nation from a different perspective is urgent and necessary. Literature is key for doing that. We need to recognize each other, translate our books, and be part of the discussion of the new order, which I consider should be based in the recognition of the human being as the main subject and object of any political, social, and economical action. We also need dreams, new frontier, and a new future. If we don't do that, social conflict will emerge among people inside nation and overseas. When politics cannot reconcile with the people's dream, their sole destiny is violence and division. In all my books, I feel a sense of failure as a generation in Latin America who had the opportunity to live the longer democratic period. In the moment when our raw materials reach highest prices overseas, while we are part of the continents where poverty and inequality is higher than in any other place in the world. Our young generation feels betrayed for a reality that is not responding to their expectation. We need a renaissance of fresh ideas that put our generation of the so-called boomers who helped bring democracy to the millennials who are not too enthusiastic with political moments as we can see on the streets demonstration in Colombia, Chile, or in my country, Paraguay. Literature is a kind of pact toward a future. It is important to write the new history of our nations, rich on natural resources, but poor in terms of political actors who can lead people toward a shine and better future. We have fantastic dreams, but a terrible social reality. Also, we need to explore our Arab roots. In 1492, when the Spaniards expelled the last Muslim governor, Boabdil, they also discovered us, as America, as they call later. That happened 529 years ago. Arab people, and more important, Arab culture, stayed in Spain for more than 800 years. It permeated not only our blood and our way of living and thinking. Our main popular singer in Paraguay name is Kemil Jambay. For instance, an Arab's descendant made a vibrant part of the political and economic community. Lack of recognition of the Arab culture and how interrelated we are together is a challenge that we need to take. We called wrongly Turkish because the large community came to America with Turkey passport, which ruled many of the Middle East territory under the Ottoman Empire. When I visited Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, and Egypt, I saw many similar activity, body languages, and cultural manifestation that I felt part of. I saw in the Bekaa Valley people who emigrated to Paraguay and came back to Lebanon, sitting on the sidewalk and sucking tereré, a national tea whose ritual resembled too much to the nargilés smoke. We are all together, part of the same world and same destiny. Literature should help to build bridges among us, making people understand differences and teaching us how we can coexist in a more peaceful world. My political, social, and economic essays are looking this horizon, and I feel secure that we are going to reach that goal. The pandemic garden reflects this vision. From a negative perspective to an optimistic one, it is possible to make a bigger garden of the globe. We are living in the garbage and poverty for many years to a large part of the global population. There is not option for them and for us if we cannot reach minimal condition and start building a new world as soon as possible. From history to the future, from isolation to relationship, from selfish to fraternity. That is the path for the future, which is urgent to rebuild together. Shukran.
In the end of our talk, we thank our guest speaker, the Paraguayan author, Dr. Benjamin Fernandez Bogado, for his insightful, passionately inspiring talk. Thank you, Professor, for joining us. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador, for joining us. We thank all our audience for joining us tonight in the second event of the Latin American Literature Week.